Hey folks, welcome back to Mark Kelly Farm. Today we're going to talk about deer fence. Out here in middle Nebraska, we got deer running all over the place. And they like to eat what you plant. They would rather eat out of a garden than out of the 90-acre corn patch, which is just next door to us. So you got to come up with some kind of barrier to keep them out of your garden. And researching this, because I've never had to keep deer out of my garden before, it's never been a problem because we didn't have deer where we lived. I looked through a lot of research, lots of YouTube videos, lots of asking people here locally what works. So this is what we've come up with. Here is our garden. What we have is we have some combination cattle panels, and I'll take you a little bit closer so you can see what those are. And then I manufactured some little devices that sit on top of the T-post to hold our pennant flags in place. So the pennant flags are supposed to keep the deer out because they don't know what's going on with them. There's movement, they flap in the wind, they create a little bit of sound. There's always wind, even if it's just a little bit out here in Nebraska. So let's go down and I'll give you a little bit better explanation of what we got going on. So through my research, I have been told that deer can hop a 7-foot fence. So we've come up with a combination of different ideas that have been tried and tested and proven. The previous owner had panels up like this, and then out from the panels, probably about 3 feet, he had another fence that was a little bit shorter and electric wire. So it created a barrier here where they couldn't get close enough to the fence to hop it, and they didn't feel comfortable hopping into the middle section in here. And that worked out well for him. So we've taken that idea with screwing with their depth perception a little bit, and we've created these items that come off the top of the fence at almost a 45-degree angle. And we've got the flags on it to get their attention. So we're thinking when the deer walk up to the fence, they're going to see these flags up here that are a little closer than the fence and wonder if they can get in there. And if a deer has to wonder, they're very cautious animals, chances are they won't try it. So we're going to put that to the test, obviously. Now another version we could have done was to turn these around and angle them towards the garden, and when they walk up to the fence, that would have gave them a little bit different perspective, and they might think the fence is a little taller or a little further out or whatever. But that's something we can definitely try later. Now, combo panels are called combo panels because on the bottom they have the fine mesh, and then as you come up they got the bigger mesh. So that fine mesh, in theory, will keep the rabbits from getting in there, because deer are not the only predators we need to worry about. We also have to worry about rabbits. We see them all the time. Even though Brandy does a pretty good job patrolling, don't you, Brandy? Even though she's laying in the shade right now. She's like the guardian of our galaxy out here. She does a pretty good job patrolling, and she keeps a lot of the animals run off, but during the night she's in the house with us. So all of your nocturnal predators are going to be out here unhindered. So this is the fence we're going to give a shot. I've been told if the raccoons show up, we're going to have to come up here and put a hot wire that sticks out probably 5 or 6 inches, or maybe right up here, to keep the raccoons from crawling over the top of the fence. It'll zap them when they get up there, or when they try to climb the fence. So anywhere, along this area of the fence, we could run a hot wire that would keep them from climbing over. So this is our garden area that we're going to give a shot. We got her all tilled up. Took us a while to gather all the panels. These are 16 foot panels, and they're just a little over 4 foot tall. I wanted the 5 footers, but they're getting pretty scarce. So we're going to see if this works out. Now all these posts are here, these little items, those are just the electrical fence posts that the cattlemen use around here to put the electrical wires around their cornfields when they run the cattle in there. And I just manufactured those out of those. I went and got some square tubing that fit over the T-post, and then I put about a 45-degree bend on them and welded them to that. And then we wired them down to that top rail of the panel so they weren't tipping around so much. So that's what those are made out of. And then we have on top up here just the regular screw type insulating wire holders. How they work is you just put the wire through there and it locks it in, and then you can unscrew this on the back and slide it up and down the pole. So if we figure out this is too high and the deer are wondering if they can jump through there and get through there, if it doesn't scare them enough, we might have to run those down about another foot or so just to make them wonder a little bit more. But we'll give this a try. If we lose a few things this first year, it's all trial and error. But other people have tried this and it has worked. We got the flag idea from Cog Hill Farms. We follow them. Their flags, however, are like a Tibetan prayer flag, so it may be a little more spiritual thing that they're got going on over there. But they don't seem to have a deer problem, and they got flags all around their garden like this. It does add a little color. People driving by out here on the road are going to be, what in the name of sweet baby Jesus you got going on there? You got a carnival going out in your garden? But hopefully it works out. We've got this all tilled up. My cousin Derek was nice enough to loan me his 3-point tiller for the tractor, and that saved us a lot of work. And then I got a subsoiler that I picked up that I'll show you a picture of. We took that subsoiler and ran it down each row, and all I did was put the tractor tire in the old tractor tire row and did it again, so they're spaced out by the width of the tractor. So if I want to take care of a row and get it gone, I can bring a tractor in here and just rototill that whole row and start over. I do have a walk behind rototiller that I'm going to be doing the middles with. But my good buddy George out in California, he gave me the subsoiler idea. He said one year they planted corn and they started to subsoil, and then they decided that it was going to be too much of a pain because they were bringing up too big of pieces of soil, and they had to run the disc over it, so they just stopped. Well, where they subsoiled, their corn was about 3 foot taller than the whole rest of the field. So they swear by it now, especially with tomatoes. They said your tomatoes will do fantastic if you run a subsoiler down and plant your tomatoes right over that. So I'm going to use that little trench that's already there to plant in, and if I plant something smaller like onions, I'm going to go on both sides of the trench, and then I'm going to lay my drip tape right down the middle of that. And that's our plan. So wish us luck. Here our first year gardening in Nebraska. We want a pretty healthy harvest so we can get that root cellar filled up that we showed you in a previous video. We want to line the shelves of that thing. I'm going to plant some potatoes today. We still have the open areas where I have the gates going in, which is here in this corner, and then over there in the middle. I'm putting the gate over there. But there's not going to be any foliage sticking above the ground to attract anything to eat it. So I think I'm going to be okay to get the potatoes in the ground before the gates are done. So if this works out, maybe you can try this at your place. Keep your deer out, and will be a success. So until next time, come back and see us here at Mark Kelly Farm. If you like what we're doing, subscribe. If some other people would like our content, go ahead and share it with them. We want to help as many people as we can. We love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye.